John Vogler is a professor of international relations and the author of Climate Change in World Politics. And I'm pleased to say he's joining us live now on the programme from Stoke-on-Trent in the UK. Great to have you with us, John. So China and the EU have a rather complicated diplomatic relationship, let's say. How difficult will it be for them to reach an agreement over this?
Well, it's not going to be easy because there are trade and there are human rights issues between China and the European Union. But usually with climate change issues, and you could say this about the Americans as well, they say whatever else we disagree about, we do have a common interest in dealing with climate change, and thus we can make some progress. But I think I would emphasize this, that although the EU likes to be seen as a leader and has been a leader over the years in climate change politics, there are real issues here because it's got a very ambitious target of now, under the Green New Deal, of 55% reductions by 2030. And it's going to be, its interests are engaged here on trade. And let me, one example of this, of course, is that if you are going to have an ambitious climate target, there is a danger that you will disadvantage your own firms. They will lose competitiveness and there will be what's called carbon leakage. And in order to counter this, the EU has recently been suggesting, although not formally, that there could be border tax adjustments, taxes. And of course, China doesn't like this at all. And a number of other developing countries don't like this at all and see it as protectionism. So for a number of reasons, it's not going to be easy. And the other thing to remember is that France and Germany are not the EU. The EU acts as an actor, as a single actor on climate issues. And I think people will be aware that one of the things the Chinese quite often like to do is to split up the members of the EU. So, the Poles have a view on this and other countries have a view on it too. So it's not going to be easy.
So you think the EU as a whole, although I appreciate that France and Germany are separate actors, but the EU has an ambitious climate strategy. Do you think that China's ambition of carbon neutrality by 2060 is ambitious too?
Not really. Well, I mean, it looks ambitious in the very longer term, and it was a change when Xi announced this in the middle of last year, well, in September last year. However, if you look at the track that we need to be on and what the scientists say we need to be on, then much more is required from everybody, and particularly from the Chinese. I mean, remember, the Chinese are critical here because they account for about just short of 40% of global greenhouse gas emissions, and they are huge users of coal still. It's the thing to look for, I think, in their nationally determined contribution. And the key thing is people are going to publish their nationally determined contributions in advance of COP26. The thing to look at is what they are saying they are going to do before 2030. Because you need to get on the right track before 2030. And talking about carbon neutrality in 2060, or even saying, well, we may peak our emissions by 2030, is not necessarily enough, I think.
OK, John Vogler, Professor of International Relations, great to talk to you today. Thank you.